Apparently, loads of Lady Gaga fans are slating Venom because then everyone will go and see A Star Is Born, and whilst it's probably true that my script guy is such a big Gaga fan that he has a tattoo of her face on his face, I've never been more than lukewarm on her. So when in a few sentences I start cutting Venom up into little bits and then jump up and down on the little bits until I get blisters, it's because Venom is the worst attempt at setting up a cinematic universe since The Mummy. But what hope did Venom have? I'd have a better job trying to explain the plot of Memento than how this wretched thing got to the silver screen. As far as I can work out, even though Sony still owns Spider-Man, he's on loan to the MCU and therefore wasn't able to be in this Venomverse, as it was originally supposed to be a hard R universe taking place in the MCU, but just off to the side, similar to the Netflix shows. But this got toned down to a PG-13 in the US, although it's still got a 15 rating here in the UK, to enable it to cross over with the MCU at some point in the future, even though this is set in its own universe, and Marvel has pretty much stated that this is never going to happen. Oh, and cutting down the film's rating means that Tom Hardy's favourite 40 minutes was also cut, which I'm going to assume was mostly the second act, which means the characters don't so much develop as suddenly change motivations in a heartbeat. Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. 99% of films operate with a 3-act structure. Person goes up tree, gets stuck up tree, gets down from tree. But it's when they're stuck up the tree that all the development and growth happens before everything gets wrapped up in the 3rd act. But here, Brock gets the symbiote, has an overlong but tolerable chase scene, massacres a load of innocent people in an overlong, over-edited, tension-free fight scene that has no reason to exist other than the script decided that we needed a fight scene, and then we're off to defeat the final boss in a fully CGI fight, whereupon 2 dark CGI creatures fight in the dark. I mean, I'm told the imagery was pretty cool, but I was half convinced that the projector had been switched off. It's a very spotty film as well. Normally a runtime of 112 minutes is just enough to tell a coherent story, especially a film as simple as a superhero origin story. But here, it just feels like all of the small scenes have been cut. We simply go from plot point to plot point to plot point. There's so little character development here for anyone that it's embarrassing. I mean, I know that proper actors do these kind of films to top up their bank accounts before heading back to the indie film circuit, but could the director not find anything for them to do? Michelle Williams, nominated for 4 Academy Awards and 1 Tony Award, is stuck playing the supportive girlfriend role and given very little to do other than look shocked at Tom Hardy's acting and beam around the set to wherever she can do something supportive. She has no agency, no independence, and so little impact she has no name in my notes. Tom Hardy, looking vaguely confused as what to do with the fact that his face is uncovered for once, is one of our finest working actors, but here just seems to have been told to watch Spider-Man 3 and base his performance on Peter Parker around the time he started dancing. He's a self-righteous jerk who seems to have wandered out of a bad 80s high school movie where he would be the villainous jock, aided by his super-powered leather jacket, which ensures that he's never in any danger from any human opponent ever, which makes what few fight scenes the film has like any suspense or interest. That's if you can see them. I mean, I did enjoy the buddy cop thing that developed with said leather jacket, but it was way too little, way too late. And the villain, my god, the villain. Look, I get making your villain a guy with a god complex, a man for whom the ends justify the means, no matter how horrific the means are, but Riz Ahmed? You needed someone with presence, a spark of madness and charisma, none of which Ahmed demonstrates in any way, shape or form. I wouldn't need a super suit to beat this guy. A strong breeze would probably do the job. Look, Venom is a mess. It has been horrifically muted for no reason other than a futile pipe dream, which means that the film has no distinctive identity of its own. It's been edited down to the bare bones, which means that I didn't care about anyone or even get a real sense of narrative. It wasted cast that most directors would kill for and would probably actually know how to use. I laughed at bits I'm certain I wasn't supposed to laugh at and was bored at bits I was supposed to be thrilling. The plot is completely predictable and wastes what could have been a fairly unique spin on the superhero origin story. Sony, you either need to kill this off now, as has happened to the late unlamented Dark Universe, or allow your films to revel in their 18 rating, as is, if you want a film where the hero is given superhuman abilities after an encounter with a not entirely on the level corporation, has its own identity and identifiable characters, then watch Upgrade! That's awesome! As for this, just skip it. But what do you guys think? And what is your least favourite opening film to a franchise? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel. It's been a dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.